Hello, this is Brian Aldrich from 4th Street Software, and today I'm going to talk about the new 4th Street basketball board game. And it may seem a little odd to have a computer image up here on the screen right now of the game itself, but it's a little easier for me to show everything on the screen than it is to use the actual board game itself. So here's a picture of what my layout would normally be for a game that I'm playing. What I've got is team 1 over here, and they're going to be team red. These are the starters up on the top row, and team blue starters are up here. And I've got their reserves or substitutes immediately below those, so I can quickly swap them in and out if I need to, due to an injury or fatigue or whatever. The board is up here, better shot of it on this screen. This is a exact replica of the same thing I was showing you, with little tokens here to keep track of the score, number of fouls for each team, the timeouts remaining, and the time. There's also a fatigue tracker here. We're not going to talk about that today. It's not in the scope of what I'm trying to cover at the moment. And then we have a set of dice down at the bottom. Now, as you might expect, it's a little difficult to roll the dice here with the way I've got this set up. And that's why I have these little squares here. There's 5 dice that run the engine here for 4th Street basketball. There's a red, a blue, orange, black, and then a white. The red and the blue represent the teams for which you're playing. So team 1 is over here. And oh, by the way, these little rectangles represent players. The blue represents the blue player. So basically, it's kind of a power rating. So the team with the higher total here for this role, plus their ratings. So for example, if we have Isaiah Thomas with the ball, and he's in level 3, well, then he has a +2 rating. And that's going to be added onto his die roll. The orange and the black dice are usually either combined or used on a player card, depending upon what section you're in, to find a result. So, for example, if I roll a orange 4 and a black 2, and I'm in level 2 for Joe Dumars, and he wins a matchup here between himself and another player, all I have to do is cross-reference the orange 4 and the black 2 on this card, and that little symbol tells me what happens. Don't worry about what the symbol is right now. We'll take a look at almost all of these here as we go throughout the presentation. The graphical representations are actually really simple to figure out. Whenever you see some kind of a circle, it's almost always going to be some type of a shot, usually one that goes in. If you see a triangle, then it's either a pass or a drive. If you see something with an X in it, there's a foul involved. And squares are also fouls. An X, big old X here, means a block shot. We have some turnovers. This would be a steal. And then we have an injury down here. Sometimes you combine the black and the orange dice. So let's say again that I have an orange 4 and a black 2. That would total up to be a 6. In other words, maybe I'm using that as a free throw opportunity. That's about the only time that that's used. All right, and finally, the white die is a player identifier. Usually it's identifying a matchup between 2 players involved in a rebound attempt. In fact, we're identifying who gets the ball during a setup play, for example. All right, I think probably the easiest way to go about this is to just go ahead and start a game. So here we go. We'll start out with a jump ball. And what I have here is Bill Lambier, who has a jump ball rating of 2, against Kevin Duckworth, who also has a jump rating of 2. Okay, we'll roll the dice. Now, I don't actually have dice to roll here. I just created several random numbers down here below, and I'm bringing them up them up into the die fields just so you can see what happens. Okay, we simply compare the red and the blue roll. We're going to add those two ratings we just looked at to the red and the blue dice. So in this case, we have Lambier, who had a 2 for a die roll and also a 2 for his jump rating. So his total is 4. Duckworth had a jump rating of 2. Adding that to 3, we see that he wins the matchup. All right, so he wins the tip. The ball should go to player 5, but player 5 can't get that because he is involved in the jump. So that immediately goes to player 1 for the blue team, and that would be Terry Porter. Okay, Terry Porter's got the ball. We don't take any time off the clock for a jump ball. It's about the only time we don't do that. And now we're ready to go ahead and roll the dice for a setup play. A setup play just tells us where the ball is going to be located and who has possession of said ball. So here's my dice roll. Okay, this time I'm most interested in the orange and the black and the white. Okay, the white is the player identifier, so player number 4 has the ball. That would be Buck Williams. So Buck Williams has the ball, and then we have a 5 orange and a 3 black, and we take a look at the setup grid. Okay, well for player 4 down here, we cross-reference our orange 5 and our black 3, and we see that the player is going to set up in zone 3A. So now let's go back to the court. We'll take our little ball here, slide it over into 3A. Remember, this is the blue team over here. They're defending this basket. Red team is defending this one. And we have Buck Williams with the ball in 3A. Okay, that setup play in the pro game takes 5 seconds off the clock. So I'm going to move this back over to 55 and move my minutes down by 1. So now we have 11:55 remaining on the clock. All right, time for another die roll. Now that we know that Buck Williams has the ball, what we want to see next is what he does with it. So he is going to be defended. He's player number 4. He is defended by player number 4 for the red team. We're running a man-to-man defense here, so a very simple setup. Dennis Rodman is going to be the defender on the play. All right, so I rolled 5 and a 5 for the red and the blue. Okay, the blue die controls the blue team. The red die controls the red team. Right now we have a tie, so we need to look at the ratings here and see what's happening. So let's look back at Williams. He's in level 3. Okay, so 3A is where he's camped out at the moment. And his rating in level 3, as you might expect, he's a power forward, isn't real good. It's 0. So we don't add anything to his die. So he ends up with a 5. Rodman out here, he's got defensive ratings of 2, 2, and 1. This is level 1, level 2, level 3. So Rodman has a rating of 1 in level 3 as a defender. So that means he bumps his die up to a 6. So he has won the matchup, and we're going to read the result off from his card then. Okay, the 2 dice come up, the orange and black come up as a 1 and a 1. So now we look at Dennis Rodman's card, and we see that a 1-1 is blank. Well, blank just means that there was a shot taken and it wasn't any good. So it hit either the backboard or the rim and is rattling around there, but it's not going to be a good shot, so we have a rebound coming up. Okay, first let's take off 5 seconds off our clock, and now we'll go ahead and see what we've got. Okay, so again, we have a roll of 2 and 5. This is a rebound attempt, so the players won. The 2 point guards are involved inside this matchup. Right now, it looks like the blue team is going to win because their roll is much higher than red's. But let's take a look at what the ratings are here. Okay, player 1 is Terry Porter. His offensive rebound rating is 0. So we don't add anything to the 5. Isaiah Thomas' defensive rebound rating is 1. Don't worry about the parentheses here right now. That's used only in specific instances. So we add a 1 to that, but in this case, Porter's still going to win the ball. So Porter has the ball. 43 is where that rebound is taking place. So we need to take a look at our location grid again here. And this time we're going to use it for player 1 because the point guard has it. 43 is 3A. So Porter actually gets the ball back around the same location that Williams shot it. All right, and we take 5 seconds off the clock, and now Porter has possession of the ball. Reroll the dice. This time we get a 3 and a 6. Looks like blue is probably going to win this matchup. Let's just double check. After a while, you won't have to check these as often because you'll see if there's a difference of 2 or more. Typically, the offense is going to win all the time. If not, the defense will win. So in level 3, Terry Porter is a 3. He's a point guard, so he's not only a halfway decent shooter out there, as indicated by his 3-point percentage, but he's also got quite a few assists. So he can deal it out here pretty well. We're going to add that 3 onto his rating. He's up to a 9. There's no way that Isaiah Thomas is going to beat that. He does have a pretty good defensive rating out there, but not nearly enough to make up the difference here. So Porter wins the matchup. We've rolled a 65. So we take a look at Terry Porter's card. He won the matchup here in level 3. So we go over 6 on the orange, down 5, and we see this funny looking circle with another little circle inside of it. That is a result of nothing but net. All right, so he has shot a 3-pointer. He's out beyond the 3-point line, and Terry Porter has just sunk a 3-pointer for Portland. They go up by 3. So I'm simply going to move my ones token down 3 places. That took another 5 seconds off the clock. And now Detroit has the ball. So let's go ahead. Both teams are in man-to-man for the defense. And we go ahead and roll it. And what we've got is another setup play. So a setup play always begins what's going on here. So what we've done is bypass some of the inbounding and whatnot. There's some of that still involved here, but at the end of the day, player number 5 for Detroit, who is Bill Laimbeer, has possession of the ball. What we need to do is find out where he's got possession. So on the setup play, we've got a 41. And we look up here in the corner, it tells us for which position we're looking at. Laimbeer is right there, he's a 5. And we look over 4, down 1, and we see 2B. So Laimbeer is set up in 2B. So let's move the ball down here to 2B. So he's inside the 3-point arc. All right, that took 5 seconds. Okay, and we've got a new die roll, lots of 4s in this one. So we've got a tie between these two, so we're going to take a look at what the ratings are here. Laimbeer is in level 2, is a 2. So Laimbeer is pretty dominating in there. All right, so his total is 6. The maximum rating for defense on this is 2. And so the most that the blue team can get will also end up being a 6. A tie will go to the offense in this situation. Let's go back here. Kevin Duckworth, actually a 0 for his defensive rating. So Lambier easily wins the matchup. Okay, now we're going to check out 45 on Lambier. In level 2, go across 4, down 5. It's a blank. So he hit the rim, but the ball did not go through. So it's a missed shot, and now we have a rebound attempt. So we go ahead and roll the dice, move our seconds marker. Okay, players 5 are going to be involved in this matchup. So that pits Bill Lambier, who has a 0 offensive rebound rating here, against Kevin Duckworth, who has a 0 defensive rebound rating. We've got 4 and 5 here for the 2 rolls. 5 beats 4. We don't add anything to these because the respective rebound ratings were both 0s. And so Kevin Duckworth has 1 possession of the ball. Let's roll the dice, set up play, move 5 seconds off the clock. Okay, player 3 is going to be involved in this one. That's Jerome Kersey. So, ball is going the other direction. I'm just going to put it on that side of the fence. We rolled a 32 here. So we look on player 3's location grid on 32. That's orange 3, black 2. And it's in zone 2B. So I'm going to place the ball on 2B. It's just a marker here telling me what's going on. And now I re-roll the dice again. So Kersey has the ball. I rolled this set of dice. Okay, as you can see, the red 5 beats 4, but we have to check out the ratings here. In level 2, Kersey is pretty good. He's a 2. So his total is going to be 6, 4 plus 2. And on the other side, we have Mark Aguirre, whose defensive rating is a 1 in level 2. We add that to his rating, so he's up to a 6 also. And again, offense wins the matchup. So we're going to read the result off from Jerome Kersey's card. He got a 44, orange 4, black 4. In level 2, orange 4, black 4 is one of these arrow deals here, which is kind of a fun one because that is an in and out. It's a 50-50 deal. This is one of those balls that goes around the rim, and sometimes it goes through, sometimes it doesn't. So let's see what happens here with this one. 3 right here. If the dice roll is 1, 2, or 3, the shot is good. If it's 4, 5, and 6, it's no good. And so he has scored 2 more points. All right, so Kersey has scored a basket, and now we're going to go in the other direction. So roll the dice. Player 1 has the ball. I'm going to move the ball up here just to indicate that it's now in possession of the red team. Player 1 is Isaiah Thomas. And we have a 26 here for the location grid. Here's player 1. 26 is 2B. 2B's come up a lot here. That's just coincidence. All right, and now we're ready for another dice roll. Forgot to take off 5 seconds, and now I'll take another 5 off for my new dice roll. Basically, every time you roll the dice here, except on jump balls and free throws, you're going to end up taking 5 seconds off the clock for the pro game. For the college game, it's a little bit different, but not much. It's very similar. All right, so here's my new dice roll. Okay, we got a nice roll here for the red team. And I've got Isaiah Thomas with the ball. Isaiah in level 2 is a +1, so he's up to 7. Now, as I said before, the maximum defensive rating given out here in this game is a 2 in any of the zones. So even if that player, who's Terry Porter, is a 2, and he's not, he's only a 1 in level 2 for his defensive rating. But even if he were a 2, he would still only tie Thomas, and Thomas would win the matchup. So we don't even really need to look at Porter's card for the moment. Okay, Thomas wins the matchup. The dice roll is 45. We look on his card in level 2. We have orange 4, red or black 5, and we see another little one. If you were listening before, you know that that is a basket, and it's also a foul on the defender. So in this case, the foul goes on Terry Porter. And we're going to move up the fouls by 1 here because that was a defensive foul. And put 2 on the score. And now we've got a free throw attempt by Isaiah Thomas. So he scored 2. He can make this a 3-point play. We look at the orange dice. Sometimes we need the white one as well. I'm going to add these together this time. So 1 plus 2 is 3. If I look down here, oh, it's a 50-50 again. Take a look at the white die. If it's 1, 2, or 3, which it is, he has scored. If it were 4, 5, and 6, we'd go ahead with a rebound. All right, going the other direction. So let's move the ball up here. New dice roll. Score is now 5-3 for Portland. Okay, player 1, so that's Terry Porter, has the ball. There's another token if you want. You can use it to mark the player with the ball here at any given time. Okay, on a setup play, we just move the ball or the time 5 seconds. 55 on the type 1 here is 3C. So Terry Porter sets up in zone 3C, which is out here. Now notice this is kind of straddling the 3-point arc. So sometimes this will be a 3-point shot if he takes one. Sometimes it'll be a 2-point shot. Depends on what the situation is. Most of the time it's 3-point shot though. All right, go ahead and roll the dice. Find out what goes on. So first of all, I have to take off 5 seconds. Now we're down to 10 minutes and 55. All right, we look at these 2 dice first again. See who wins the matchup. The blue die is much higher than the red, so that means Porter will win this matchup. And we look up a 25 in level 3. So here's level 3, 25. He did take a shot, a 3-point attempt, but he missed it. And it's a rebound attempt. So we roll the dice again. Take another 5 seconds off for the rebound. Okay, looks like we got a red 2 and a blue 1. Players 3 are involved in this one. So for the red team, that is Mark Aguirre. His defensive rebound is a 0. And on the other side, we have Jerome Kersey, who has an offensive rebounding rating of 0. Okay, so that means red wins the matchup. That means that if you're keeping stats, Mark Aguirre is credited with a defensive rebound. And we go down the other direction. So here's our setup play. We've got player 1, who's Isaiah Thomas again. 1, 2. And here we go. He's going to drive all the way down to level 1, zone B. So he's basically trying to do a layup here. We'll see if he succeeds. Okay, roll the dice. Gets a little congested down there. Again, man-to-man defense, so he's going to be covered by Terry Porter. First of all, we have to find out if he wins the matchup. So let's look at Isaiah. Level 1, his offensive rating is a 1, so he has a total of 5. Porter, on the other hand's defensive rating down low is 0. So Isaiah Thomas wins the matchup. We're going to read the result off his card. Orange-black is 21 in level 1, and we've got another 50-50 opportunity here. 5, that means it's no good, so it's in and out. We have a rebound. So we handle the rebound here, take some time off the clock. Players 2 will be involved in this one. Looks like red is higher, but we got to see if we have something going on here. Joe Dumars' offensive rebound rating is 0, so he's stuck at 3. On the other hand, Clyde Drexler has a 1 for his defensive rebound rating, so his combined total is a 2. Okay, now this is a little bit different. If this ended up in a tie, which it doesn't this time, what's his name? Dumars has won the matchup. If it were a tie, the defense actually wins the rebound in this case. But Dumars has won the rebound. Okay, we refer to the location grid to find out where he's got the ball. For player 2, a 1-1 is in 1A. So the ball has gone a little bit off. Dumars has it now, and we go ahead and roll for another die roll. Okay, we have to see who wins the matchup here. Okay, it doesn't look real good for Dumars. He only has a 2. Let's take a look. His level 1 rating is a 1. So now we're up to 3, and that's not going to beat Clyde the Glide no matter what happens. Okay, so Drexler has the ball. We don't need to know where the ball is because Drexler won the rebound. So all we have to know is that it's going in the other direction, and we have another setup play. I hope this helps you understand how 4th Street basketball works. It's a very fast-paced game. It's very easy to play. The ratings are very simple. They go from 0 to 3. For defense, they only go from 0 to 2. And it does take some talent here to grab those ratings. So Isaiah up here is real good in level 3, pretty good in the other 2. That's not a real common set of ratings. So a lot of these guys are going to have some 0s. So they don't get bumped up on their dice rolls as much as you might think. Signing off. Have a great day.